Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. It's me, Mrs. Celestin. I'm back with another read aloud today. Our book today is called One Tiny Turtle by Nicola Davies. Remember, this unit is Sharing the Planet, which focuses on our rights and responsibilities with sharing the earth with plants and animals. Hmm. So I imagine we are going to explore how humans can share or how they have not shared the world with plants and animals in this story. So, in this particular story, we have an about page at the beginning of a text. Sometimes authors include about pages to give you more information about the topic. So, let's go ahead and dive in, read our about page, and see if we learn even more about turtles. About turtles. Sea turtles are related to tortoises and terrapins. They are all reptiles. Sea turtles are great wanderers, traveling thousands of miles each year, often far from land. This makes them difficult to study. So scientists are only just beginning to find out about their mysterious lives. There are 7 species of sea turtles. This book is about the loggerhead turtle. Loggerheads live in seas all over the world. So I just gained some information here. Now, after reading the About page, I know that this book is about a specific type of sea turtle called the loggerhead. But I wonder, what else did we learn about sea turtles on this page? Go ahead and pause the video, reread this page, and see what you learned about sea turtles. I'm going to say, I'm looking right here. I learned that sea turtles are related to tortoises and they are reptiles. I also learned that sea turtles travel thousands of miles each year, which actually that kind of reminds me of a movie I watched a long time ago, Finding Nemo. And Nemo's father comes across a sea turtle traveling in Australia. So, because they travel so much, it makes it difficult for scientists to study them. Interesting. Now, let's go ahead and go into vocabulary. So, our first word that comes up in our text is nursery. What's the word? Nursery. A nursery, we talked about this in another text. In that particular text, a nursery was a place where plants are nurtured and grow before they're planted into the ground. Well, in this text, we're talking about nursery more like the kind of nursery that a baby um, stays in. A nursery is a place where plants or animals are nurtured and grow. Think about that. Our next word is reptiles. We just came across that word on our About page. Reptiles are a class of animal that includes snakes, lizards, crocodiles, turtles, and tortoises. They usually have dry, scaly skin and lay soft shelled eggs on land. So I just learned something else about turtles. I know that they like to live in the ocean, but they lay eggs on land. Interesting. Nesting. What's the word? Nesting, when an animal prepares a home for their baby. And our last word is endangered. What's the word? Endangered. Endangered means seriously at risk of being completely gone or extinction. And we came across that word again in our last story, the Lorax. In the Lorax, because the Onceler kept cutting down the truffle trees became endangered. All right, guys. So before we start reading this text, our thinking job for this story is to think about what the author is teaching us about the topic, which is sea turtles. So our goal in this story is just to gain as much information as we can about sea turtles, but also think about how we affect them. All right, let's get started. Far, far out to sea, land is only a memory, an empty sky touches the water. Just beneath the surface is a tangle of weed and driftwood where tiny creatures cling. This is the nursery of a sea turtle. Ooh, I know that nurseries nurture and grow things. Mm. Passing in a boat, you might not notice the turtle. Not much bigger than a bottle top. She hides in the green shadows. She's a baby, so her shell is soft as old leather. Just a little fish bite could rip it open. But the turtle is safe in her world of weed and snaps her beak on tiny crabs and shrimps. Turtles have shells that cover their backs and shells that cover their stomachs. The shells are made from bony plates that get bigger and harder as the turtle grows. I'm noticing something on this page. I have words going horizontally at the top, and then I've got some wavy words at the bottom. I noticed that those wavy words at the bottom gave me more information about the turtle, just like the About page did. So as we move through this text, I know that we should definitely pay attention to our wavy words at the bottom so that we can learn even more about the sea turtle. And there she is, hiding in the tangle of weeds and eating the shrimp and the crab. The turtle swims around, flapping her long front flippers like wings. She is flying underwater. She pokes her pinprick nostrils through the silver surface. Sorry. To take a quick breath so fast, blink, and you miss it. Then she's gone, diving into her secret life again. Fish breathe underwater. Here's those wavy words. Fish breathe underwater, but turtles are reptiles and need to come up to the surface for air. They do this every 4 to 5 minutes when they are, that is little. When they are asleep, they can stay underwater for hours. For 3 or 4 years, maybe more, the turtle rides out the storms and floats through the hot calms. So I learned another interesting thing. This turtle, it says for 3 or 4 years, the turtle is in this nursery. So it's growing and being nurtured and protected by this nursery for years. Steadily, she outgrows her nursery. Nobody sees her leave, but when you look for her, she has vanished all the same. Okay, guys, now we're going to stop. I want you to use evidence from the text to answer our next question. Why does the turtle leave the nursery? We already established that the nursery was a place where the turtle is nurtured and grows. The turtle stays there for 3 or 4 years, but then this page gives us some information. So use your text, pause, use your text to answer this question on paper. Why does the turtle leave the nursery? And how do you know? All right, scholars, I hope that you paused your text and answered this question. I can't wait to hear your responses when we discuss later. We're going to continue. A year or two later, she turns up close to land, bigger than a dinner plate now. She's not a fish snack anymore. Her shell is hard as armor. Her head is tough as a helmet. She's grown into her name, Loggerhead. Sorry, guys. I'm a little sleepy sleeps. She's grown into her name, Loggerhead. She has come to eat crabs. Millions swim up from deep water to breed in the shallows. Their shells crack as easily as hens' eggs in her heavy jaws. But in a week, the feast is over and Loggerhead disappears again. All right, let's stop one more time here. So we know the text just told us time has passed since the researchers last saw the loggerhead. They saw the loggerhead in the nursery, and then she left the nursery and completely disappeared. Then she comes back again. So, using evidence from the text, how has the loggerhead changed during that time? So, we're going back to these two pages and we're looking for evidence of how the loggerhead has changed. What the loggerhead was like before, what the loggerhead is like now. How has the loggerhead changed? Pause your text, write your answer. I can't wait to listen to those when we discuss later. All right, we're going to go ahead and continue. Make sure you pause though. That's Miss Celestine's alarm. Loggerhead wanders far and wide in search of food. In summer, to cool seaweed jungles where she finds juicy clams and shoals of shrimps. And in winter, to turquoise lagoons, warm as a bath, where she can munch among corals. Loggerhead may travel thousands of miles, but she leaves no trace or track for you to follow. Only good luck will catch you a glimpse of her. So, in the last couple pages, the author gave us some more information about the loggerhead's behavior. So, what have you learned about the loggerhead's behavior so far? You're stopping, you're thinking, and now you're chatting with somebody at your house. What have you learned about the loggerhead so far? So, I'm going to chat with you guys. I'm thinking, since this last page, the author talks about the loggerhead wandering far and searching for food. Oh, I noticed, along with the other information we've learned so far, the author mentions that the loggerhead during the summertime goes to the cool seaweed jungles. So the loggerhead, when it's really, really hot, wants to go to a cooler place. It eats clams and shrimps. And I also know from earlier that the loggerhead also eats crabs as well. And then during winter time, when it's really, really cold, it goes to a warmer place. Ooh, and among the corals, again, I know that there's a great coral reef in Australia. Maybe that's where the loggerhead is right now. They traveled thousands of miles, so it's hard for researchers to keep track. Those are some things that I've learned so far about loggerheads. I want to keep track of those things because our goal is to build our knowledge of loggerheads in this story. For 30 years, you might not find her. 30 years! Then, one summer night, she arrives on the beach where she was born. She's found her way here, sensing north and south like a compass needle, feeling the current and the warmth of the waves. She remembers the taste of the water here and the sound of the sea. Male turtles wait just off the nesting beaches. They mate with the females. Then the females come ashore to lay eggs. Oh, she's coming to the shore to lay her eggs to build her nest. There she is. Loggerhead has grown in her wandering years. She's big as a barrel now. Floating in the sea, she weighs nothing. But on land, she's heavier than a man. So every flipper step is a struggle, and her eyes stream with salty tears, which helps keep them free of sand. Coming ashore, ooh, we've got some another wavy words down here. That's going to give us more information about this. Coming ashore is very risky for sea turtles. They can easily overheat and die. They only nest at night or in cool weather. Then they get back to the sea as soon as possible. Mm. This wavy text at the bottom says that coming ashore is risky for sea turtles. Why is it risky for sea turtles to come ashore? Let's use evidence from our text right here to explain why it's risky to somebody at our house. Go ahead and chat with someone at your house about why it's risky for sea turtles to come ashore. I also want you to think about using your background knowledge, using what you know about beaches. Would there be other reasons why a sea turtle coming onto the shore might be dangerous or risky? Think about it. Use your background knowledge, use what you know about beaches to help you. All right, guys, I hope you discussed with your family. And there was our evidence right there for that question. Loggerhead makes her nest where the sea won't reach. Scooping carefully with her hind flippers, she makes a steep, deep hole. And what is she going to do in that hole? She's going to lay her eggs. Inside, she lays her eggs like 100 squidgy ping pong balls. Afterward, she covers them with sand to hide her nest from hungry mouths. Another danger, maybe, for the loggerhead. Then Loggerhead is gone again back to her secret life. Left behind under the sand, her eggs stay deep and safe. Baby turtles grow inside. Oh, we got some wavy text here. Let's see what we learn. Females stay close to their nesting beaches for several months. In that time, they usually make at least 4 nests and sometimes as many as 10. Oh, so when the loggerhead went and made this nest, she probably went back to the sea, came back to a different spot, and made another nest with eggs inside. And before the summer's over, they wriggle from their shells. Ooh, wavy text down here. Turtle eggs in warm sand can be ready to hatch in 6 weeks. If the sand is cool, they can take 3 weeks longer. So summertime is prime time for turtle eggs to hatch. Above them on the beach, 100 eyes watch, on the lookout for a meal. So the hatchlings wait until night. What do you think this bird is going to try to do? Think. Yeah, you're probably right. He's probably thinking about eating those turtles. The horizon, where the sea meets the sky, tells baby turtles which way to turn to get to the water. But street lights and buildings next to the beach can confuse them and make them go the wrong way. Then they burst through the sand and skitter toward the sea. So I accidentally read the information first. So when the sea turtles hatch, they're trying to get to the ocean because the sea turtles need the water to survive. But then it just says that they're looking for the horizon where the sky and the water meet. However, because of street lights and buildings with lights by the beach, they get confused. Guys, I want you to think about that. If they get confused and go the wrong way, do you think that they will survive? And if you say no, why? Why wouldn't they survive if they get confused and go the wrong way? Pause the video and talk to somebody at your house. Let's keep going. So, how is the baby turtle's journey from the beach to the sea dangerous? I want you to think about all the potential dangers that we talked about from the time the eggs hatch to them going to the sea. What are the dangers? We're using evidence from this page to find the potential dangers, and we're using evidence from this page to find the potential dangers for the baby turtles. Go ahead and pause your video, go back, reread the pages, and use those pages to answer this question. All right, I hope you did that. Let's continue. In the dark, claws and beaks and grabbing paws miss only one young turtle. One day she'll remember this beach and come back. Wait a minute. In the dark, claws and beaks and grabbing paws miss only one young turtle. Look at all those turtles that hatched. And what it's saying is, how many turtles make it to the sea? One. That's sad. But now she dives under the waves and swims, swims and swims, out into the arms of the ocean. Far, far out to sea, land becomes a memory waiting to wake in the head of the little turtle. So we've reached the end of our story, and I challenged you guys at the beginning to think about what the author is teaching you, but I also added how humans or other animals really impact the turtle. I want you to think about that again. Discuss it with someone at your house before we answer our next question. How do humans and other animals impact the sea turtle? So our last question, this is our big stop and jot question. You will use multiple sentences to answer this question. Loggerhead turtles are an endangered species. So remember earlier we talked about endangered means about to die out. There aren't very many left. What impact do humans have on a loggerhead's journey from birth on? Based off of what we read in this story, how can humans impact a loggerhead's journey? You're going to use evidence from our text to support your answer. Make sure if this is a tricky question, you're talking to someone at your house, you're going back and rereading to answer this question. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this story about the loggerhead. I will say that it really inspired me. We were supposed to go on a field trip to the Sea Life Aquarium, and they talk about loggerheads a lot too. So if you're interested in some more information, I'm going to include another video that also teaches us a little bit more about the loggerhead if you found this story really interesting like I did. Thanks for joining me, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and please make sure to do your exit ticket to go with this story. Thanks, guys. Bye.